Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
Strike three, you're out.
Now at 6:30, Ironton High School football's postseason hopes could be at risk because of a recruiting scandal, what court documents reveal. Plus, time is running out. Congress has 1 week left to end the government's shutdown before millions of Americans lose their SNAP benefits. And in sports, Gridiron Glory brings their show to Joe Burrow Stadium for the TVC Ohio Championship tonight. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Serenity Prophet. A recruiting scandal threatens the future of Ironton football. According to documents from the Lawrence County Court Common Pleas, the Ohio High School Athletics Association is accusing Ironton football of recruiting prospective student athletes for athletic purposes. Reports say the Fighting Tigers could be banned from the postseason and may have to vacate their 2024 Division V state title. Under rules set forth by the OHSAA, the organization says they will release an official statement on the ruling tomorrow morning. Ironton is scheduled to finish off their regular season tonight against the Portsmouth Trojans. A local business and 4 homes were lost in a devastating fire in Meigs County. The fire started in Reedsville at Reed's Country Store, a community staple that's been serving residents for more than 60 years. Yesterday around 4 p.m. No injuries were reported, but all the buildings were a total loss. The Eastern Local School District is holding a drive for donations to collect non-perishable food and clothing items tomorrow to support families affected by the fire. An Ohio State senator proposes a massive school funding overhaul. The bill would replace local property taxes with one statewide property tax and 1.75% sales tax increase. Supporters say this will provide homeowners the tax relief they're seeking while still funding public schools. The bill also makes major changes to how public schools operate by eliminating the state school voucher program to allow all K-12 students to have a school choice. 1.5 million Ohioans could lose their SNAP and WIC benefits next week. That's because funds for those programs are set to run out November 1st without a bipartisan spending bill to the government shutdown. There's no way to replenish them. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says SNAP has about $6 billion in the contingency fund, but November SNAP benefits are expected to total around $8 billion. The other federal funded program impacted is WIC, Women, Infant, and Children, which provides financial assistance to pregnant women, new moms, and children up to the age 5. More than 6 million families rely on WIC.
Food costs are squeezing families. Formula is so expensive, and without having access to WIC benefits, folks are going to have to decide what to do in terms of feeding their baby and feeding their family.
Democrat state lawmakers are looking to help out families in need as the shutdown drags on. They are sponsoring a bill that would require Ohio to use money from the state's rainy day fund to make up for federal SNAP and WIC shortfalls. Many federal workers faced a payday without pay as the government shutdown drags and threatens food benefits for millions. This comes as inflation increased again. Karen Kafa reports from Washington on how the latest rate change will affect your wallet.
Consumer prices for a range of goods rose at their fastest pace of 2025 during September, according to the Consumer Price Index report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Inflation ticked up at an annual rate of 3%. Pushing the top line number higher, gas prices, which shot up 4.1% last month. Top White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett blaming that on a decrease in refinery capacity he says has been reversed.
We've seen those have already come down, so we're highly confident that the next number will even be below this.
But food prices are 3.1% higher than this time last year, with some staples soaring. Coffee prices up 18.9% year over year. Beef and veal prices up 14.7%. Bananas up 6.9%. Some retailers say they're trying to hold prices down to keep consumers coming back.
We're really trying to hold prices because when prices go up, nobody wins.
Meanwhile, many federal workers missed their first paycheck Friday because of the government shutdown, which is also putting November's SNAP benefits for roughly 42 million Americans at risk.
It will make us, people like myself and other individuals, have to make that hard choice. Are we going to put food on the table or have proper health care?
The government inflation data release was prompted by a government deadline to make cost of living adjustments for 2026 Social Security payments, and retirees will see a 2.8% bump in their benefits next year. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
While some federal workers missed their first full paycheck, the Trump administration received a major donation to help pay military service members. Today, the Defense Department confirmed an anonymous $130 million donation from an ally of President Trump's. The donation was made to offset the cost of service members' salary and benefits. Officials say the money was accepted under the department's General Gift Acceptance Authority. It's unclear from the Pentagon, Treasury Department, or the White House if the donor has any ties to foreign entities or interest. And now for a look at what's going on here in Athens, we'll hear from our forecaster, Kelvin Stebbins.
Yeah, Serenity, it's been a beautiful day out there. I mean, we've just seen lots of sunshine and a lot of high pressure just been sitting stationary over our area. A cold front did move through over the past few days, which is allowing our lows to dip down into the mid to low 30s overnight and then jump right back into the upper 50s during the day. In the upcoming week, we are going to see this low pressure system move into our area, allowing that chance for rain heading into early next week, which I'll hit on a little bit more in my full weather. But just taking a look at the surrounding areas, 52 in Zanesville and 54 in Lancaster, then through the Ohio River Valley, 58 in Huntington and 53 in Parkersburg. Now, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for most of southern Ohio, so pretty much what this is saying is if you have any household plants or crops outside, make sure you bring them in because the lows will be down to the mid to low 30s tonight, which will allow those plants to get frozen over. Taking a look currently in Athens, it is 55 degrees with mostly clear skies. Now those clear skies won't be sticking around heading into tonight, where we'll see that overnight low of 32 with partly cloudy skies. Now, if you are going to any of those Friday night light games, make sure you wear sweatpants, sweatshirt, coat, hat, and gloves because it will be a bit on the cooler side out there. Then heading into tomorrow, we'll see that high of 57 and low of 37. Stay tuned to see my full weather.
President Trump says he's ending trade negotiations with Canada, making the decision largely because of an advertisement bought by Ontario's government featuring a clip of President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs. Julia Brembrook has reports from the White House.
President Donald Trump says he is ending trade talks with Canada, threatening once again to upend the crucial economic relationship between the United States and its second biggest trading partner. He's taking issue with this ad released by the government of Ontario last week. It features audio from a 1987 speech by then President Ronald Reagan criticizing tariffs on foreign goods.
High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. Then the worst happens. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs.
The Reagan Foundation put out a statement saying it believes the ad, quote, misrepresents the late president's comments. While the clip did lack context and was edited down, the theme of Reagan's address was support for free and fair trade. So it's not immediately clear which specifics the foundation took issue with. Trump reacted on social media, writing in part, the Ronald Reagan Foundation has just announced that Canada has fraudulently used an advertisement which is fake, featuring Ronald Reagan speaking negatively about tariffs, adding in all caps, all trade negotiations with Canada are hereby terminated. The relationship between the United States and Canada has been tense in recent months, in part because of Trump's tariff policies. In brief remarks Friday, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said that the country is focused on what it can control, which he says includes developing new partnerships and opportunities. At the White House, I'm Julia Bitbrook.
The U.S. is sending an aircraft carrier strike group to the Caribbean as President Trump increases his pressure campaign on Venezuela. The strike group is currently docked near Crotosha, more than 5,000 miles from the Caribbean. It would take days for it to be in position to launch any strikes. The administration says the buildup of U.S. forces in the Caribbean is part of the counter-drug trafficking campaign. However, Trump has also been weighing strikes inside Venezuela as part of a broader strategy to weaken the country's president. Coming up, healthcare costs are skyrocketing. Experts weigh in on factors driving up the cost of care.
And the TVC Ohio Championship between the Athens Bulldogs and Nelsonville York Buckeyes will kick off right here tonight.
The Buckeyes look to defend their title on Athens turf with both teams undefeated heading into this one.
It's been a beautiful day out there, but how long will it last? Stay tuned to see my full weather.
The landscape in Texas is changing all over the state.
Once development comes on this island, the habitat's gone.
I went on Airbnb and somebody's renting a piece of dirt.
I mean, what is Texas without cattle ranches?
If taxes get too high, we will have to close this place.
Something needed to be done.
This is a part of my history that I didn't know.
I was like, I have to write about this.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Can you feel the moment?
The American Revolution changed the world.
With a story unfolds.
Everybody had the sense of possibility worth fighting for.
What took place here still leaves us in awe.
We can work towards equality together.
Wow, this is the missing piece.
Incredible.
To confront these figures from ancient history is a great privilege.
Our history tells us who we are, where we came from.
And it's all connected.
Like links in a chain.
Like links in a chain, yeah.
All I can do is say thank you.
Wow, this is phenomenal.
I'm really grateful for this.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, do these objects give you thrills or chills?
I don't think I'd want to meet them in a dark alley. It fascinates me, it drives me crazy, and it kind of scares me too.
As a kid, I used to think it was really frightening, and I used to decorate it with balloons and things.
My wife will be so relieved.
I hope she is.
Tune in for our special edition Antiques Roadshow Kooky and Spooky.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
This evening, we'll kick things off at the Joe Burrow Stadium, where the Athens Bulldogs will face Nelsonville York Buckeyes tonight for the TVC Ohio title. Here's a live look at the stadium as the stands fill up and fans arrive for the heavily anticipated matchup. Now joining us live from the field where they'll be at for tonight are the host and digital host of Gridiron Glory, Donovan Varney and Josh Horner.
Yeah, Serenity, we will be here for a little while tonight because we're going to have our show live here at Joe Burrow Stadium tonight at 11:30 p.m.
And what better way to do it than take the show right to where the action will be. Both these teams are gearing up for a heated battle tonight, both of them 9-0, and there's a little thing called the TVC Ohio title on the line.
That's right, and this year's matchup is eerily similar to the matchup we saw from these two teams just this same time last year.
Yeah. Last year was definitely memorable for this Buckeyes team, and they delivered the first blow on the ground with Austin Gautier.
Soon after, Athens responded. A long punt return, then Alex Pirro punched one in from a yard out to even the score.
The Buckeyes would score one more before the end of half, but they would miss the PAT.
Athens took a 1-point lead in the third, and then with 3 seconds left in the game, Dakota Cunningham delivered the final blow, and NY would take it 19-14.
And here's a look at the TVC Ohio standings as we enter the final week of the regular season.
Athens and NY stand alone at the top. As you know, winner tonight takes all the marbles.
And there's also a two-way tie at third between Meigs and Vinton County.
Alexander sits at fifth, and they've already played all their conference games, so their record is final, or River Valley and Wilson round out the bunch.
And you saw that perfect 9-0 record for both teams, and this Athens team has been doing it in dominant fashion. They're beating opponents by an average of 43 points per game this season. I mean, Donovan, that is just insane.
Yeah.
They've been led by Anthony Sutton on the offensive end, averaging over 160 yards per game on the ground this season, and he has 18 total touchdowns to go along with it. Defensively for the Bulldogs, Weston Wheatley has a total of 9 interceptions and is one of the leading reasons this Bulldog defense has had 5 shutouts so far this season.
Yeah, and so far this year for the Buckeyes, they're averaging a record high 42 points per game this year. A lot of that comes on the ground in the form of a senior named Austin Gautier, but Cam Sullivan, Walker Stone, and Dakota Cunningham all make their presence felt as well. Speaking of Sullivan, he's been able to throw the ball much more efficiently this season. Last year, he was completing just over 50% of passes, and this year, he's around 75. So the Buckeyes are going to have to put all their pieces together tonight if they want to keep the TVC Ohio title in Bookdale.
So both these teams obviously bring a lot to the table, but only one can leave a champion tonight.
That's right, and I think it's safe to say the Bulldogs are happy they're back at home for this year's rivalry. But here's what Coach White and Coach Richards had to say before the game.
Again, it starts up front on both sides. I think I listened to the radio show last week, early in the week, Coach White said the same thing. It starts in the trenches. So whether you're spread or wishbone, whatever, you got to win up front. And then if you win up front, you got a chance.
Yeah, we watched tape over the weekend and put in a plan like we do against every opponent. And we're going to do what we do on both sides of the ball. It's gotten us here, and there's no reason to change it now.
So we know both these coaches are prepped and ready for this big game, but Donovan, we still got a little bit more action on the slate tonight.
Yeah, we've got a lot of conferences to break down, so we're heading out to 9 games, many with titles in them as well.
We'll be at Waterford at Belpre, Point Pleasant at Fort Fry, and John Glenn at Tri-Valley.
We'll also have crews at Chillicothe versus Jackson and Westfall at Unioto.
Then we'll hit Circleville at Bloom Carroll and P West at Wheelersburg.
And finally, we'll see Fairfield Christian at Grove City Christian and Bishop Rosecrans at Byrne Union.
Yeah, so much football action tonight. This will be a show you don't want to miss.
Yeah, plenty of conference standings that we'll be finalizing on our show as well. So make sure you tune in for updates on all of those tonight.
But that's all we have for right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one tonight. So like I said, make sure you guys tune in. Episode 10 of Gridiron Glory tonight at 11:30 p.m. live right here. Back to you guys.
Thank you, guys. Moving on into weather. So it's been a pretty chilly here today. It's been a chilly week so far. What can people expect tonight at the game?
People tonight at the game can expect much of the same that we've seen most of the week. I mean, we've seen our lows in the mid to low 30s during the night, and it's just been a cooler night out there for most of the days. Taking a look at our surface analysis just around the country, we can see this cold front that did pass through our area just over the past few days. That just is now starting to affect the Florida areas. And alongside with that, we do see this high pressure that's in stationary. So that's allowing our lows to continue to drop in the overnight hours down to the mid to low 30s. And in this upcoming days, we are going to see the chance of rain return. This low pressure system is going to continue to track its way into our area, bringing back that chance of rain as early as into next week. Taking a look at our 6 to 10 day weather outlook, we are going to be below average for our temperatures during this time of year. So for all you fall lovers out there, it's going to be beautiful, highs in the mid to low 50s, and then our lows, of course, will be in the mid to low 30s. Now with all this tying in together, the National Weather Service has issued a freeze warning for most of southern Ohio. What this is saying is it's going to be mid to low 30s heading into tonight. So if you do have any plants, crops, or any vegetation that you want to continue to feed, make sure you bring it in tonight because it's going to be so cold out there and it will continue to freeze heading into the rest of the night. Taking a look over the past 24 hours, we have seen our lows dip down into the mid to low 40s and even cross 30s in some areas. Now, as that daytime has returned, we've seen them jump right back into the mid to high 50s, and it's just been a beautiful fall day out there. Over the past 12 hours, in the early morning hours, we didn't see that many clouds in our area, but as the day has continued and progressed, we're starting to see clouds roll in from the north and continue to track down into our area. Now, currently in Athens, it is 55 degrees with mostly clear skies. Those clear skies will not be sticking around heading into the night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 32. So if you are going to any of those Friday night light games, make sure you wear sweatpants, sweatshirt, coat, hat, gloves, and even some hand warmers. It's going to be such a cold night out there, so just make sure you bundle up. Heading into tomorrow, we'll see that high of 57 and that low of 37 with mostly cloudy skies. Just looking at tomorrow morning, we do see the stationary high pressure system just sitting stationary over our area, and that's going to be much of the same heading into tomorrow night. But we are going to start to see this low pressure system creep its way into our area, kicking out this high pressure system, and then heading into Sunday night, that high pressure system is completely kicked off the East Coast, and that low pressure system is continuing to track into our area. Taking a look at our 7-day outlook, heading into Sunday, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a high of 59 and that low of 39. That chance of rain now returns heading into Monday, 30% chance of showers, high of 60 and a low of 41. Tuesday, 30% chance of showers, high of 55, low of 39, and rain will be sticking around heading into the rest of the week.
Next on Newswatch, it's easy to overlook, but to take care of your spine can have a major impact on your health.
From the hills of Montana comes an extraordinary feat of filmmaking. Over 10 years, 150 remote cameras recorded a tapestry of creatures. The star of this story is a remarkable mountain lion, a dedicated mother, raising 6 cubs on her own. This is Willow.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
Holy.
Across the globe, devastating flash floods are becoming more common.
We're seeing extreme rainfall events, which I fear is a harbinger of things to come.
What's causing this rise? And what can we do to prevent disaster?
When we have a good flood forecasting and warning system, lives are saved.
Super floods on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
You are ready to go.
Did you get that? That is incredible.
We are a part of a revolution.
That, for me, is so exciting.
Open enrollment is back. People can now change, renew, or enroll in a healthcare plan. However, most healthcare plans will suffer sticker shock. Maribel Gonzalez reports on what's changing and how much more coverage could cost in 2026.
If you obtain health insurance through work,
the total health cost of health benefits is going to rise by 6.5% next year, and that is the highest increase we've seen in 15 years.
Beth Umlin from the consulting firm Mercer says employees will feel it through paycheck deductions, as employers may shift more healthcare costs to staffers.
The same healthcare service and good that you bought last year is going to be higher.
A survey by KFF, a nonpartisan health policy research group, found weight loss drug use is driving up costs for some larger firms.
Many of those employers told us that their spending was higher than they expected, and that the GLP-1s is making up a big part of their prescription drug spending.
Separately, marketplace customers could see premiums more than double next year if Affordable Care Act enhanced tax credits expire.
We've been paying about $650 a month, and according to the new premiums, they would go up to about between $1,900 to $2,000 for the same plan.
Small business owner Michelle Mazer and her husband are facing tough choices.
It would either be me re-entering the workforce and shutting down my small business, or he needs to come out of retirement and go back to work.
So what can consumers do to navigate the costs?
It's kind of a joke that people typically spend less time picking out a health plan than picking out a television, but this would be a year to really focus in on all the options.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Around 3,000 furloughed employees are at the Center of Medicaid and at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid are being reinstated. This will help service Americans who will be signing up during the Medicare and Marketplace open enrollment season. Officials say staffers that are being recalled will not receive payback while the government shutdown remains in place. Open enrollment for the Medicare and Medicaid Advantage plan starts October 15th and continues through to December 7th. As we age, keeping the spine healthy gets harder as it can weaken and wear down over time. Mandy Gaither has ways to protect your spine and lessen risk of major medical issues.
The simple things you may take for granted, like getting out of bed or walking your dog, are all made possible by your spine.
As we age, it's imperative to pay attention to how the spine actually changes.
Dr. Terrence Verla with the Orlando Health Neuroscience Institute says as we age, spine health gets harder to maintain and can lead to limitations in our mobility and affect quality of life. To protect spinal health, he says have a healthy diet with foods rich in vitamin D and calcium that can help strengthen bones and keep your body physically fit through exercise and by maintaining a healthy weight. He also says posture is important.
It helps keep the spinal column neutral and evenly redistributes the load in a way that can maintain a healthy spine and a healthy lifestyle.
Verla says one of the most common spinal conditions later in life is degenerative scoliosis. As joints wear down, it can create a curvature in the spine.
Those patients could have back pain, pain shooting down their legs, numbness, tingling, and sometimes even weakness.
If you have any of those symptoms, Verla says to see a doctor, as early detection and treatment can help keep the condition from progressing.
It is a reason to at least consult with your primary care provider, who can order all the necessary tests or just a simple x-ray to figure out, what's going on.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Still ahead, Halloween is in full swing here in Athens, kicking off with Trunk or Treat at the fairgrounds. Stick around for more spooky season activities.
By 1919, Chicago was probably considered the center of baseball. You've got a team that's called the White Sox, fixing World Series games and defiling the entire sport.
Do I deserve this money enough to betray my city, my teammates, and the sport of baseball? Well, for these 8 players, the answer was a resounding yes.
The Black Sox Scandal on American Stories.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
In some ways, Portsmouth was one of the last small cities to field a team and get a franchise. What was kind of extraordinary about Portsmouth was it was able to field an incredible team. For a brief moment in the sun, a little sweet spot that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship, but they put together the team that ultimately did win the championship in 1935 in Detroit.
PBS viewers believe that businesses that sponsor PBS on WOUB Public Television have a commitment to quality and excellence. Sponsoring a PBS television program offers your business a unique opportunity to connect with a highly engaged, loyal, and trustful audience in a clutter-free environment, leading to increased brand awareness, positive perception, and potential for higher customer engagement. Your sponsorship is important to the community, and the rewards come back to you in the form of loyal customers. Align your organization with America's most trusted news and public affairs network. WOUB Public Television is worthy of your trust. Contact Corporate Support Director Kathy Malesic at 740-593-4909 or online at woub.org/support.
Athens County Fairgrounds hosted a trunk or treat event for local families. More than 500 people came to the event, and local business and community organizations came prepared, handing out candy and swag to all the people that stopped by. This was the first trunk or treat the fairgrounds hosted since COVID-19 pandemic. If you or your family are looking for more Halloween activities this weekend, you can check out the events on your screen. Yep, so a lot of family and children, they're going to be out this weekend, this coming week for Halloween. What can they expect?
They can expect just really cold nights out there. I mean, heading into tonight, overnight low of 32 with partly cloudy skies. Then heading into the rest of the weekend, taking a look at Saturday, we'll see that overnight low of 37 with mostly cloudy skies and a high of 57. And then heading into Sunday, and then the rest of the week, the chance of rain does return.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching.
Passport. Your ticket to stream complete seasons, early releases, iconic series, and so much more.
This was perfect.
Donate to your local PBS station